Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reviews in a Rabbit Onesie, the show in which I, Dan Leith, review things in a rabbit onesie. Everybody was kung fu fighting, hoo, ha, those kicks were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, hoo, ha, they fought with expert timing. Yes, that's right. The two movies that we're reviewing today and putting head to head are both about martial arts, kung fu. Two movies starring martial arts legends who are trying to take down some crime bosses using their sweet, sweet moves. Which brings us to movie number one, 1973's Enter the Dragon. Now, in this movie, legend Bruce Lee plays a character called Mr. Lee. He is asked to infiltrate a fighting tournament on an island run by a crime lord. Now, if you've never seen this movie, it is well worth a watch. The music is super 70s, but cool as fuck. In fact, it's all pretty 70s, but cool as fuck. We're introduced to Bruce Lee's character of Mr. Lee at the start. He's wearing tidy blackies, beating a guy up. And he's full of Zen phrases.
Not thinking, yet not dreaming.
So Mr. Lee makes his way to the island. We're treated with lots of backstory. There's a cool sequence with a lot of kung fu molesters who are trying to get with Bruce Lee's sister. She's pretty badass. It's a bit of a badass, tragic backstory. We meet some other characters. A ladies' man with a fine afro.
You should know.
And legendary character actor John Saxon.
Come on, fellas.
Always good to see you, John. We see his backstory. He's playing golf, being a badass. So they all meet on a boat on the way to this tournament. They bond over betting on praying mantis fighting to the death. Bruce Lee teaches a man about the art of fighting without fighting.
The art of fighting without fighting?
With an epic boat burn.
Hey! What the hell are you doing? Hey, are you crazy?
When they get to the island, they're all treated very well. Seems like quite a lavish affair. John Saxon is wearing a polo neck and dressing gown combo that is something to behold. Some girls come out and throw their hair pieces, which are spiky, into some apples. That's entertainment. The gentlemen are also offered the company of young ladies of their choice.
I'll take you, darling.
They all make different types of choices.
And you.
It's kind of like a bit from Goldilocks and the Three Bears if the person that wrote it was a pervert.
It's been a big day. I'm a little tired.
Bruce Lee chooses a girl just so that he can get some information from her. He sneaks out doing a bit of espionage, seeing if he can find any criminal activity. Although he's wearing a navy outfit with a black bag, and that's the true crime here. He knocks out some guards. And the next day, the crime lord, whose name is Han, gets his guards to fight to the death for letting him down, establishing the threat. Don't fuck with Han. Then there's a cool fight sequence where Bruce Lee deals with a not quite Chuck Norris type character, who's one of the scumbags from the backstory about his sister. One of the coolest things about Bruce Lee in this film is that he's just so calm and placid. And yet so kick-ass at the same time. There's no need for one-line zingers with him, just high-pitched noises. Han is a very good villain. He's missing a hand. You gotta hand it to Han. Sorry. He's very much so like a Bond villain. He's even got the cat.
Up here.
Although I don't think Blofeld ever put his cat under a guillotine to fuck with John Saxon. In fact, as the movie progresses, it becomes very much so like a James Bond movie, except Bond in this is making high-pitched noises and at one point wields a snake. Also, I'm enjoying the film a lot more than a James Bond movie. It's a very simple and concise film. It does exactly what it needs to do. There's lots of cool fighting. And the finale is really cool as well. Bruce Lee and Han end up in a room full of mirrors. Lots of really cool perspective shots. And one hell of a kick in the face. And obviously Bruce Lee isn't superstitious because otherwise he'd be having all the bad luck in the world breaking all those mirrors. Fun fact, Jackie Chan is actually in this movie as a stuntman. You can briefly see him playing a guard who gets his shit kicked in. It's just a really kick-ass entertaining film. Bruce Lee is awesome, John Saxon is awesome. Speaking of which, unfortunately we lost John Saxon this week. So here's to you, John, one of the finest character actors of our time. Thank you for all of the wonderful performances. Oh, it's a really large shot glass. Oh. What did I learn from this movie? I learned to never have such a large shot of whiskey while recording myself. I learned not to concentrate on the finger, because otherwise you'll miss all the heavenly glory. I also learned that martial artists don't pack light. They're taking so many fucking suitcases to that island. But yes, that's Enter the Dragon. Well worth a watch, even just to see Bruce Lee in his prime. And if you've never seen Bruce Lee before, you're in for a treat. I mean, just check him out here playing ping pong with nunchucks. Fucking class. 4 to 5 high-pitched noises. Which brings us to movie number 2, 2017's The Foreigner. So this movie is about a terrorist group that are going by the name of the Authentic IRA, and they blow up the Chinese girl from Harry Potter. But in this, she's Jackie Chan's daughter, so mistake, lads, mistake. Jackie Chan decides that the police aren't doing good enough a job, so he gets on a boat, fucks off to Northern Ireland, and tries to take down the IRA. Being from Northern Ireland, this is a very interesting movie to review. Sounds like gas crack. It's not. I mean, Jackie Chan is awesome. He's got his serious acting chops on, which is actually really lovely to see.
I have no more family.
And he nails it.
What if your wife and daughter were killed by bomb?
He's by far the best actor in this movie. Also in this film is Pierce Brosnan, who's playing a character who is essentially Jerry Adams, if Jerry Adams had a stroke and forgot how to do the Northern Irish accent.
I do everything in my power to get justice.
There's some real questionable accents and acting in this movie. It's unreal.
Again, I don't know.
It's also very much not set in Northern Ireland. There's probably about 3 or 4 aerial shots taken from here, and the rest of it's filmed in England somewhere. But it's always funny to see a shot of Jackie Chan coming into Larne. So yeah, Jackie's great. He's got a serious acting down, and the action is unbelievable. The problem is there's only about 3 action scenes in a 2-hour movie. The rest of it is Jackie Chan trying to blow up the IRA, and the IRA trying to blow up Jackie Chan. But when the action does happen, it is fucking off the chain hook. There's a scene where Jackie Chan is staying in a B&B in Wellington Park. The lads from the IRA are coming to get him. And he's a nimble fucking bastard and punches his way through the roof. Kicks some serious ass for a man over 60. Nice one, Jackie. By the way, I used to live on Wellington Park, and that's not it. I mean, it's hard not to like Jackie Chan anytime he's on screen. Unfortunately, I think Jackie Chan is probably on screen for about 1/5 of this movie, if even, and the rest of it is just awful melodrama. I mean, the writing is just way too on the nose, and possibly even more embarrassing than our country's actual politics.
Again, my sincere condolences.
But you do get to watch Pierce Brosnan kneecap a lad, so it's taking itself way too seriously and doesn't have enough action to be in any way fun. I mean, I love revenge stories, but this is just a bit shite. Being from Northern Ireland, it's all quite embarrassing.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!
The idea of Jackie Chan being a bereaved father who is a terrorist to terrorists is fucking class. But I need a lot more than 3 action scenes and a lot more Jackie screen time. I'd love it if Jackie Chan came over here to sort out our bullshit, but it's not gonna happen. It's fiction. What did I learn from this movie? I learned that it's a very surreal thing to see Jackie Chan write down Oma bombing. And I learned that even Irish actors have a problem with the Northern Irish accent sometimes. I really think this movie could have been good, but it just wasn't. You'd have a much better time watching Jerry Adams talking to a bush.
What am I, August? Bush.
2 out of 5 high-pitched noises. Thank you for watching Reviews in a Rabbit Onesie. I've been Dan Leith. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share, subscribe. And if you'd like me to review anything else, please leave a comment underneath. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay sane. And remember, a wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can from a wise answer. Oh!
Finn.